Good morning, students. As we have completed the chapter reading of chapter 6, The Mitten, let me explain you about the story of a boy's mitten along with the video. So let's start.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Nicky. He asked his grandmother to make him a pair of mittens to keep his hands warm in the snow,
Okay, I will make you red mittens.
said his grandma.
But Grandma, I want white mittens.
No, no, no. If you drop a white mitten in the snow, you will never find it.
Said Grandma.
But Grandma, I want white mittens, please.
Requested Nicky. So,
So this is story about a boy's mitten whose name was Nicky. So Nicky was a boy. One day he asked his grandmother to make him a pair of mittens so that he could keep his hands warm in snow. Grandmother said, "Okay, I will make red mittens for you." But Nicky wanted white mittens. He insisted his grandma to make white mittens. Grandma said that no, if you drop white mitten in the snow, you will not be able to find it. As you all know that the color of snow is white, so her grandmother said that if I'll make white mittens for you and if you drop it in the snow, you will not be able to find it. But still the boy Nicky insisted his grandmother to make him white mittens.
Nicky's grandmother made white mittens for him. Nicky put on the mittens and went outside to play in the snow. As he played, Nicky lost one of his mittens. A mole found the mitten. As the mitten looked quite warm and comfortable, the mole crawled into it.
So, because Nicky insisted and requested his grandmother to make him white mitten, the grandmother made white mittens for him and Nicky wore it and he went out to play. So while he was playing, he lost one of the mitten in the snow and he went back home. So as the mitten was lying on the ground in the snow, a mole, you know what a mole is? A mole is a small animal who looks like a mouse. A mole found the mitten, and because the mitten was woolen, the mole found it very warm and comfortable, and the mole went it inside the mitten.
The mole was about to go to sleep. Just then, a rabbit came by and crawled into the mitten. A fox was passing by and saw the mitten.
Can I come in?
Asked the fox. The mole and the rabbit almost said,
No.
but it was cold, and you are always supposed to share. So they said,
Okay. You can come in if you can fit.
soon
So the mole went inside the mitten, crawled inside the mitten, and because the mitten was very warm and very soft, the mole was just about to sleep. And just then a rabbit came by, and the rabbit also crawled inside the mitten. So both of them were keeping themselves warm in the mitten. Just then a fox was passing by, and fox saw the mitten and he asked that if he could come inside the mitten. The mole and rabbit were about to say no, but because it was very cold and it is good habit to share, they asked the fox that if he could fit in the mitten, the small mitten, the fox can also come inside.
Other animals crawled inside the mitten to stay warm. First, there came a hedgehog, then an owl, then a bear, and finally a mouse. The mouse
So, just as the mole, rabbit, and the fox were keeping themselves warm in the mitten, other animals also came and they crawled inside the mitten to keep themselves warm. First came a hedgehog. A hedgehog is a small animal which has needle like hair. His hair looks like needles. So, first the hedgehog came inside, then a owl. An owl came inside, then a bear, and then a mouse. So all the animals they fitted inside the small mitten to keep themselves warm. So students, today we'll read till here. Now your homework for today is to write the dictation words of this chapter in your English Fair notebook. So open up your English Fair notebook, put today's date, and follow the instructions and the dictation words as I dictate them. On the very first line, write down chapter 6. Write down chapter 6. On the second line, write the mitten. And on third line, write down the dictation words. Start from the fourth line, write down the first word, mittens. The first word is mittens. You will have to find out the spelling from the book on your own and write it correctly in your fair notebook. The second word is drop. Drop. Third, lost. Write down the third word, lost. Fourth, comfortable. Comfortable. Fifth, crawled. Crawled. Sixth, almost. Almost. Seventh, supposed. Supposed. Eighth, hedgehog. Hedgehog. Ninth, fit. Fit. And tenth, share. The last word is share. Now you have to find out the spellings of these words from your textbook and write it correctly in your English Fair notebook. Thank you.